On this episode of Advisor Speed Demos, Rob Sandrew lays out the case for integrated partners. If you like what you hear, please visit integrated-partners.com.
In the spirit of speed dating, I thought I'd just jump right in here. So we are a open architecture, multi-custodial hybrid RIA firm with 12 billion of assets, a national firm, 45 offices, about to add a 46 in the Midwest, co-headquartered both on the East and West Coast, here in San Diego, as well as Boston. The firm was founded over 20 years ago by Paul Sagany, who happens to be our CEO as well as an advisor. And one of the things we're most proud about is the fact that the firm was built by advisors for advisors. As you can see here, we've had a really nice run up since 2018. We actually went independent in the tail end of 2016 with 3.5 billion of assets and 97 advisors. So we've seen a nice growth spurt, particularly since 2018. Drilling down a bit in terms of the value, kind of our ethos, if you will, really has to do with open architecture, non-disruption, and the full service element of the platform. We're very focused on working with more successful advisors that have really their own business model in place, their own brand in many cases. They're coming to us in large part to really enhance their business model. We're not going to, upend their business. It's not as if we're going to take over their brand, take over essentially their processes. The typical advisory team that comes on board tends to have 10 plus years experience in the space. One of the key levers that we look for is around planning. We have a very strong planning orientation. We believe that really kind of the wealth management industry, everything emanates from a planning approach. And we really want to make sure the advisor has that, alignment with us philosophically. Another area that we're focused on is in terms of growth. A big lever that we look for is advisors wanting to grow. And one of the unique drivers of our platform is we help advisors grow, maybe differently than they grew before. We hear a lot from advisors that they want to grow their revenues, say double their revenues, but they don't necessarily want to double the number of clients that they have. We've been able to effectively, over the last 20 years or so, help advisors go up what we call that complexity curve, where they're working with higher end opportunities, more complexity around the situation. And we're able to not only help them in terms of the resources that we can provide, but there's a lead generation component through our CPA program that we bring to the table. So those are just some of the elements that we're looking for in terms of the profile. And let me drill down a bit into the resources. So just added 6 resources here. We've got certainly more than that. As you can see, we don't have legal compliance or tech on this slide. The reason being is that we feel very strongly that any firm that plays in this space has to have a very strong legal and compliance and tech stack. Otherwise, that's like a barrier of entry, if you will. It's absolute must. So in terms of our differentiators, we really look at more front-end resources. So I'll start with that CPA program I mentioned before. We have over 125 CPA firms that we align with, and our thought process since day one in terms of founding of the firm has been that the CPA tends to be the most trusted advisor for higher end wealth. What we've done is built out a program where CPAs are ultimately introducing their higher end clients to our advisors. The advisors in turn are leveraging our infrastructure, building processes to support that client base. It's been a very effective tool in terms of identifying higher end opportunities. And that dovetails into our planning organization. We do a lot of work in terms of assisting our advisory teams from case design, case consultation, implementation, really writing plans on behalf of advisors to help them scale. Another area that we're focused on is this business owner platform. The CPA program has unearthed a lot of opportunities with business owners that are ultimately looking to sell their business, and we built out an expertise around that area. A lot of times what we see is we come in early on a business owner opportunity. We're providing a lot of expertise around advanced planning, estate planning. Ultimately, it might end up being a situation where there needs to be some tax or risk mitigation. We will provide that support as well. In many cases, we're able to take the proceeds and invest them and build out a customized portfolio solution through our investment platform. The resources, obviously, continue past that as well in terms of marketing, social media resources. We are really focused on driving content into the advisor's practice so they can in turn bring that content into the client and prospect base to continuously be top of mind. And lastly is the study group and practice management element. I'd say one of our more foundational components of the platform is that coaching aspect, that practice management. We do 2 study groups a week, one on the investment side, one on the practice management side. It's really an opportunity for advisors to engage. What we heard a number of years ago is when advisors go independent, sometimes they feel like they're on an island. They feel they're alienated. We wanted to give the opportunity for advisors to be part of something bigger. So we provide these opportunities again on a weekly basis. We do regional conferences as well as an annual conference, which is happening in May. I think at the end of the day, what's happening with us is we continue to evolve. I think the industry, any firm that isn't evolving is really falling behind. It's a kind of dying. We're a big, sports fan, if you will, in terms of our firm and management team. We talk about Wayne Gretzky a lot in terms of not skating to where the puck is, but rather where it's going. So we're always looking to evolve. And I'd say case in point is that business owner platform. We built that because we saw an opportunity a handful of years ago through the CPA program where we were getting these opportunities. We saw this niche. We wanted to take advantage of it. Also on the marketing side, we brought in a chief content officer 2 years ago to further build out content to now include video work as well as some other work. So in a nutshell, what we're trying to do again is provide, that open architecture element, that a non-disruptive component, and again, just be a partner to these advisors and allow them to really weave in and out of our organization to help them grow. Need more convincing? Well, feel free to Google us. There's a fair amount of information out there. These are 4 accolades that just recently came about, thought I'd mention. Smart Asset actually voted us the #1 fastest growing RIA in the US in 2021. CityWire did the same thing for the state of Massachusetts and did a cover story on our CEO and founder, Paul Saganey, in December. And lastly, we just found out about a month ago that Investment News for the 3rd year in a row selected us as the best places to work. So Jay, thanks very much for having us on the show. And anyone has additional information they'd like to gather, feel free to reach out.